Hey, my creative friends. Shannon from Shannon Studio, and we are here to talk about creativity tips, kind of life tips in order to help us be creative. And so we have some things to talk about tonight. I've been doing, I think this is number 79 video. Yay! And I hope that you are finding a lot of things to think about and to do and to increase your creative life. So tonight we're going to talk about something that used to happen all the time. Back in the old days, people used to apprentice and mentor, and that was a way of life to be able to move yourself up in status and in providing for yourself. And in painting particularly, there were Erica. Hi, Erica. Erica's my daughter-in-law, number one daughter-in-law. So it used to be that if you wanted to paint, you were apprenticed with someone, and basically he became your mentor in order to paint. And you spent years doing things that he asked you to do, taking you down the path he thought best so that you would become a painter like he was. And so I kind of was looking at a mentor and what a mentor does. And so I'm just going to read through some of the things that a mentor does or a mentor did. Hi. So to me, and some of the things that I've read, a mentor is a trusted teacher. Always, Erica's always number one. She said, I'm always number one, which she is because she's our first daughter-in-law. And so, yep, you're always going to be number one, Erica. Okay, so a mentor is a trusted teacher, a wise guide, a master in what they do, creates accountability for you as someone who will ask you to do things and then check back with you. An influential supporter, they're a trainer, they raise your confidence because they teach you certain things about what to do, what not to do. They give you direction, like take you down a certain path, that these are the things you have to do in order to get to a certain place. They empower you to believe in yourself. They probably take you down a notch or two when you find out that you're not as good as you thought you were. But then they also, tell you, the good mentors tell you what you need to do in order to increase your abilities. They share real world experiences. They will tend to spark creative growth in you. And so those are just some of the things. There were a ton more that I had, but those are some of the things. And we know that if you don't have a mentor, or having a mentor, what it can do for you, it can make the learning process shorter. It can give you, they can teach you mistakes to avoid. Otherwise, the journey gets longer for you. You get more discouraged. You might get so much more discouraged that you quit. And it can be a painful process. Anybody that's doing something on their own understands it can be a painful process to try to learn something on your own. So mentorships of the day of past days was a great way to move forward. Now, in today's world, it said the Harvard Business Review said that 75% of professional men and women want a mentor. So 75% of professional people want a mentor. I would love a mentor, but only 37% of them have one. That's a huge discrepancy. And it's really, there's a quote that I got out of Creative Calling book, which I think is more representative of today in mentorship. He says, the mentor illusion is the idea that someone is going to come along to provide structure and accountability for your work. And so he talks about it as the mentor illusion. Somebody else that I read about said the mentor myth. And I just thought, it is such a valuable way to learn. It is so valuable. And really, being a mentor is personalized attention at its finest. So, having somebody personally help you, personally move you along, what a great thing to have in your life. What a great person to have in your life. I also read that today's mentorship is more talking about the whole person, more about how what are your values, how do you live, how do you take care of your finances, how is your spirituality. Besides the craft, it focuses on the whole person and the behavior of the whole person, and that's kind of the mentorship that is today. But what I thought about was, I feel like some of these videos are helping and doing a mentorship on a group scale. But I wanted to give the tip today to become a creative mentor. Now, you don't have to become a creative mentor. You can do some other skill that you have, but become a mentor. Meaning, a lot of times I think that people don't become mentors is they don't have time. So if you don't have time, which I totally understand, you can become like a secret mentor. And what I mean by that is, so there are 4 things that I thought would be really simple for us to insert into our lives to mentor people. And one is to share creative thoughts. If you're going to be a creative mentor, which that's what I will talk about. Share creative thoughts. There are 79, like I said, 79 videos. I'm sure there's a thought in there somewhere that would be beneficial that you feel like you could share. And another thing is teaching. Teach someone something. It's always interesting to learn new bits of information, new things. And there's something that has gone around the internet forever from Edgar Dale, which says 10% of what you read you remember, 20% of what you hear, 30% of what you see, and it goes through. Now that's probably not really accurate as far as truly, because if you look at research, it doesn't really pan out that way. But this one said 70% of the things we discuss and 95% of what we teach others. It maybe not exactly those research numbers, but and I know when we have to turn around and teach something, it makes our brain shift into a different gear. And so if we mentor people by telling them, discussing creative ideas, I know Rose did because she talked about it in one of her videos. In one of her comments in one of the videos, she said, "Oh, we were talking about this yesterday," and she forwarded. So she's having discussions, and when you have discussions, it starts to have your own thoughts kind of organize themselves into what do I think, what do I believe. And then when we start to teach other people, it really makes us put our ducks in a row of, do we understand this? Because I've been to where I have said something or started to say something and I'm thinking, I don't understand that very well. I need to go back. And so my learning becomes relearning and redefining things so that I'm clearer on what I'm teaching. And so if you are a mentor, you can share, like I said, share a thought, teach something. You can also share stories, because stories stay with us. They're powerful and they stay with us. So share some of your creative journey stories with people, and also ask about their work. Ask somebody about their work, and that will open up the discussion. And that will, I have friends here already that I talk about artwork, ask them how they're doing. They ask me how I'm doing. We share stories. We do those kinds of things. And that's, you don't have to get somebody younger in order to be a mentor. That's the way it used to be. But there are plenty of people like me who are starting a career in my 50s. So mentorship doesn't have to be just to somebody younger, and it doesn't have to be this huge time-intensive thing. It can start out small. I am mentoring somebody just because I'm further along on the path for business stuff, and she hasn't started anything, so I'm a little farther along, so I'm mentoring her. We met together, we talked about things, and so the benefits to you are that it actually makes you happier to do this. One of the benefits is you get to be happier. You also gain more knowledge. like I said, you learn more and you start to become a leader, to lead others. And it's just some, you will be surprised when like this gal that I'm helping, she was so excited and so relieved and so grateful. She just felt hope is what she felt. She felt like, and I'm like, I'm not anybody, but I can get you on the path. She felt such great hope. And that kind of is what I think mentors do. They give hope to stay doing what you're doing. Personalized attention, giving hope to the person who isn't sure what they're doing. Like, I don't know if Trisha's watching, but I know she's a firefighter and she could definitely mentor somebody just by a few conversations. So there's things that you can do to mentor, even if you're doing it secretly, so you don't have to go, I'm going to be your mentor, or do you want me to be your mentor? Just stealthily ask questions, share stories, build them up. Because really, when I read the mentor list, you don't have to, quote, call yourself a mentor to them to be able to share stories, raise confidence, spark creative growth, and give personalized attention, be a supporter. You know, you don't have to have a certain title to do that. You can do that for anybody. So the tip is, pick somebody and be their creative mentor. It's going to help them, and it's going to help you. And so that is the tip for today. And remember, you have a creative heartbeat, and I will be back tomorrow, and we'll talk more about creativity. Bye. Oh, Trisha came on. Haha, secret mentoring, a new thing to add. It's just, Trisha, I just think asking somebody about their work, if the only thing you do is ask somebody about their work and encourage them, that's a start to be able to do things for other people that doesn't require so much out of us, because we do really have a lot going in our lives. But, and that's what people do here. They ask me about my work, and they are so excited and so supportive, and I just go, that's so nice, and it encourages me. So yes, secret mentoring, and I will see you tomorrow.